Hey, this is Kim Bellissimo. A little bit of technical difficulties, but today's topic in Energyworks, hopefully my Facebook is working too, is bust out, be free, break the chains of reality. And that is what we're going to be doing, busting out, breaking free, being free and, being in a new reality. Okay, here we go. So that's what I want to talk about. And as we move into this weekend, as we move into this week, you may feel like you need to bust out of this old reality, break the chains of kind of like all of your pictures, all of the things that you've been stuck in, all the realities that you think are real but are not real. And so we're going to talk about pictures today. Because what happens is, let me just use the analogy of TV. For example, if we're watching TV, like a lot of us have been doing, with COVID and being at home, and I'm not usually a TV watcher, but I have to say, I got yelled at the other day. My son, he watches Criterion, he watches all of these good shows. And so, the level of quality of dialogue and content. And so I don't know what I was watching, but I was watching that we can't get out of it, even if it's not our reality like in TV. And so our attention tends to go right into the reality of even what we're watching. And it's interesting because if you have pets, you know this, because Dexter will, if I'm like really into a program, I'm right there in that reality, in the whole fantasy or whatever imaginary world that is. Dexter will come right up in my face because he can feel when my energy leaves the body, when my attention separates from my body. And so I have some great tools that you can use when you're watching TV. Because if we have too much attention going into the TV, we start to identify with all these different realities. And then if you're watching even a lot of news, I don't watch the news, but if you are, you start hearing all the different realities and you don't even know what is true, what is not true. So it's very important, to, let's look at this TV, for example. If attention goes in to the TV, into an episode, into what you're watching, you have to look at, you start disconnecting from the body. And maybe even watch your responses when you're watching TV. Like if you were, I don't watch horror films, but if you were watching a horror film, like the jumping and the reaction you can even start to feel kind of the fight or flight reacting because some noise happens, some scare, and you can feel a certain amount of anxiety. You can feel even your cortisol levels rise and come up. And so we can apply that to life. Our attention goes so far out, what's happening around us. And then if we start to react to what is going on around us, that reaction, or even maybe we resist it, we resist the person, or we resist maybe even with ourselves. We don't like our body and we're in resistance to how our body looks. That resistance with anyone, what it will do is it will lock you right in to an energetic pattern. And an energetic pattern, with the Energyworks, the heart creates in a circle. What that means is, our energy moves out. The mind drives energy out. And when you move and focus your attention in your heart, it moves your energy back, creating a circuit. So when we, let's say, maybe have an exchange with the TV or with another person, maybe we're resisting, somebody has done something, we don't like the way they're doing it, we want to do it our way, we get locked in to this infinity loop. It's like this energetic pattern. And when you're locked into a pattern, you start to create a reality based in a picture, based on whatever picture that you're resisting, that you're in effort with, or maybe it's competition. And you kind of have to look at those pictures, a picture of the reality. Usually kind of these false realities happen because we want to be or do or have something other than where we're at. We want to be rich. We want to be healthy. We want to be, or we want to do something which derives our attention out. And then what happens is usually it's even think about, I've been talking to so many clients this week, and even, people, one client was saying, a friend she got together with was probing, oh, well, how is everything? Looking for if something wasn't quite right. Looking for kind of an end to see if there's any pain, or to see, what in her life wasn't going well. And then once there is that end, now there is this communication, this reality, this kind of flow of a problem. And then you're kind of locked into that pattern. And if you start to react in a situation, that means that, okay, that person got in. That person is starting to live in you, and their energy is running in you. So we absorb a lot of energy. And when we are feeling tired, when we are exhausted, or overwhelmed, or we are unhealthy, that is us being a sponge. That is us absorbing a lot of energy. So today, let's look at TV. Because we watch TV, and if you're watching TV, you can actually, I want you to use some energy tools, because it's a simple, easy way to use some tools where you can actually clear your pictures. And what is a picture? A picture is a form of reality. A picture is based kind of in a thought. It's based in a belief. It's based kind of, the emotion is the response to the picture. But a picture contains information. It contains energy. It's kind of like if you look through a photo album, you're looking at these pictures, and it brings back memories. It brings back, a certain time and a place. And so you have a response to those pictures. And so watching TV, for a lot of people, you could even be watching a program where somebody is bipolar, or somebody, is overwhelmed or having a psychotic break. And all of a sudden, maybe a day later, you start to feel the same way. That, oh my God, I'm going to have a psychotic break, or I'm so overwhelmed. Because you're watching something, you're moving your energy to something. And in doing that, then we bring on the reality of that. And we play out the reality of being overwhelmed. So a great tool to use when you are watching, TV is notice how our attention goes into the TV. Notice your responses, your reactions. Notice maybe an emotional feeling. Maybe you can feel a certain anxiety or intensity. You can feel maybe the cortisol levels rise. Notice if you start to feel ungrounded, or if you get hungry. If you start to get hungry, you've come ungrounded. You're not vertical with your energy anymore. Too much of your energy and attention has gone into the TV. And then notice if you're identifying with certain characters, where these characters in this life is so real that you just can't stop. You binge watch, and you can't stop, and you complete the whole season or you complete like episode all season 1 in just one night. I've done that. And as you're doing it, you just can't stop. It's this automatic response, energy in it, because now you're living that reality. So this is a good practice, because in life, we can do this with our friends, with our family, when we start to notice that we are involved in a situation, or maybe somebody has said something, and we get triggered by what they say, and then we can't let it go. And if we can't let something go, we've created an infinity loop with that person based in a picture. Maybe that picture is, somebody, is very, it's kind of like, even around, I'm on my family vacation, and it's great being around family. We're having a great time. And, but, it's like we've got a lot of bosses. No, not many Indians, lots of chiefs. And so I was just kind of amused the other day because I was working, but they were all going rafting, and, they were fixing everything, getting everything ready. And it's kind of like, the sandwiches have to be lined up horizontally. No, they have to be lined up vertically. They have to be organized this way or that way. So it's kind of like where we get into this duality with people that we're around, because in a way, we have to have our reality. And to have our reality, what does that do? It makes us feel safe. It makes us feel secure. And this is where, some people are extremely controlling, because it is based about safety, where they don't feel safe. And it's funny because Dexter came up, and he's in a whole new environment. And in this new environment, he's just nervous. He's unsure. He doesn't know what to do, because when you have your routine, you know what to do. And so you can really see that fight or flight, even with Dexter. The uncertainty, even on the walk that I took him on in this beautiful place, he was wanting to run back home, or back to this place where we're staying. And so that's what happens with most people. They just mask it, they disguise it, and so we don't really see it. But that is what's happening. They're reacting. And we can know that they're reacting because they'll become controlling, they'll become bossy. Or what happens is, usually maybe certain people in your family are passive, and usually there's somebody in charge. So the more in charge one person gets, the more passive everyone else becomes. And kind of, the passivity is a way of checking out, disassociating, not quite being there. And if somebody starts to get controlling. And so there's a reaction. So everyone handles, stress in a different way. And we have to look at how are we all handling stress in this time of COVID, and this time of where we're, sheltering in place. Even though I'm, here in Tahoe, I'm pretty much sheltered in place, So I go on a hike, but that's about it. And so when we look at kind of people's responses, that can give us some understanding. That can, just like Dexter, he's up here, it's easy to see that he's nervous, he's anxious, fight or flight, but let's look at people. I was talking to a client earlier, and somebody just had an operation and in their family, and she was saying people that are the caregivers, family that are supposed to show up, most of the family has gone unconscious. They can't handle kind of the pain, that stress. They're totally unconscious. And then there's one person doing all the work. So I just want you to kind of look at, how are you responding in this time? How are you responding when you start to, go into survival? And I know I got off topic a bit because we first started, talking about watching. Well, it does connect, because a lot of people are watching TV. And so I'm not saying don't watch TV, but I'm saying let's maybe alter or change the way we watch TV. So what does that mean? Well, we talked about how so much attention goes into the TV, and then you start to live a reality. Maybe you think you're depressed, or you got some disorder based on the character, and you start looking at yourself. How many times have you watched TV and, saw, like, I have to just say, the Girls from Ipanema. It's a Brazilian kind of episodic thing, which is amazing. But, you can really even identify with that, because these women in the 50s, they're trying to bust out, break free of their old reality. And it's interesting because here she's breaking free. She's creating, her shop. And then her husband comes in, takes it over, pretty much steals it in a way. And then it's kind of this plight of kind of breaking out of this old reality, kind of looking at the reality you're in right now. What reality are you in? what reality, and who's in that reality? Who do you have this infinity loop? And an infinity loop in this way isn't good because it's an entanglement based in a reality, based in a picture. And, it's like TV drama is one thing, getting into that reality. But, another client I was talking to was talking about how there's always a triangle, in a relationship, kind of, a step person and then, the co-person. There's always this dynamic, this triangle. There's always chaos, always something happening, always trying to compete with my client, trying to get her into this reality. Because if we choose to get into a reality based in chaos and we're locked in, we're going to play it out. And what does playing it out mean? Well, people are stuck. And when people are stuck, they don't know how to move their energy. And if you don't know how to move your energy, what you're going to do is you're going to connect into someone and try to get this, energy loop moving. That's why even sometimes when we gossip, it feels energizing. We get energy from it. But actually the toll from it is far more damaging, because what happens then is even the person that you're gossiping with, whoever you're gossiping about, their life starts to play in you. Their life, it starts to entangle in your life. So it's very important in a way where we have space. We have space from one another. And well, now we are, isn't it interesting with COVID, we're kind of forced to be in, and I'm not saying be alone, but we're forced to maintain our bubble. We're forced to be 6 feet apart, which is 3.5 feet on each side, creates the bubble. Meaning energetically, we have to learn how to maintain space, keep our attention within our bubble. If our attention goes out, like we're in the movie and we're not observing the movie, if we're playing and living the movie and we've become that reality, and that reality starts to play out in our life, and we're so engaged in it, now we're not really here in a body. And if we're not here in a body, not grounded, not connected, not vertical, then what happens is then we can't thrive. Our spirit can't come in. There's no room for our spirit. We kick out our spirit. And then we feel like we can't move. This is why we can't move off the couch. Or if we move, we're going to go get some food and start chowing down unconsciously and just filling ourselves up as a way of trying to ground, as a way of trying to fuel, as a way to fill up. So I'm still getting around to the tool that I want to tell you about. So what I do when I watch TV is if I'm watching something, I'm looking for pictures. I'm looking at, okay, what picture came up? And I'm noticing the distance between me and the TV screen, me and the movie. Am I living the movie or am I observing the movie? And I want you about arm's length to put a diamond out there. It's kind of like the diamond is a way to create space, to make sure that you are not hopping in that movie and escaping, because if you do, your body here will start to go into survival. It will start to feel sick. It will start to deplete. There are a lot of side effects of that happening. And so when you have the diamond there, the great thing about that is your attention is going to move out to the TV, but the diamond will reflect it back to you. So it's a way of just circulating your energy, keeping your energy moving, while you're watching TV, not going too far out. And I want you to play around with, go into the TV, live that, feel what the body feels like, feel what pictures, what's playing on TV that you start to respond in and from. Now, if you start to respond to any pictures, I do period pieces because it's very interesting. I do period pieces kind of that are connected to my genetic line. And I do a lot of, foreign films too, because it's connected to my genetic line. And so there are certain pictures, like My Brilliant Friend, It's an Italian episodic series. And so it was Southern Italy. You know, we're from Calabria, my genetic line. And such poverty, such kind of abuse, such, like, it's kind of rough, you know, and tough. But when you're watching something like that, what you want to do is you want to practice getting neutral. Practice looking at the diamond, kind of grounding it, connecting it. Practice burning it, you know, or dissolving the diamond. Create a new diamond. You know, when it's really what you're doing is you're not dissolving the diamond, you're dissolving the picture. When you dissolve the picture, then it goes. There isn't that reality anymore. Because, you know, how many of us, I have to say, you know, I was talking to somebody else who, you know, you may have gotten stuck sometime in your life on a relationship. And you may have been stuck, you know, in that relationship just as, you know, a mental picture for years. You know, maybe you broke up, it was a bad ending, and then you think about that person all the time. And your thoughts go to that person every day. So think about it. What you're doing is you're playing out a movie. You're in this movie that you can't let go of that movie. You can't let go of what happened, trying to resolve it, trying to solve it, trying to fix it, and that person won't call you back. And what that means, if you're trying to solve, resolve, fix, that means that the other person's energy is in you. And a lot of times people cut you off because they want to steal your energy. And they're not consciously doing it. You know, but both people get stuck. And so, you know, notice to see if there is one picture that you're playing to. If there is a scene of where maybe you're stuck in this, you know, romance that's going nowhere, and the romance has been going on for years and years, and but you haven't seen the person in physical form. And so that means you're just playing a movie out, that you're trying to get some kind of ending that, you know, you can't figure out. And so the best thing to do is burn the picture, blow up the picture. When you burn the picture, you're saying, you know what? Okay, I've watched this movie from every single angle. I've watched it like a cameraman, from above, from below, from right, from left. You have replayed it, redone it. But isn't it kind of boring now? Isn't it like, do you just want to play one movie your whole life? And the reality is this, we are swimming in a sea of pictures. And all of these pictures that we're swimming in are false realities. None of these realities are real. Well, you would say, well, how do you know? You know, they're not real. Because it's like our minds, our attention, they create these realities to play out something, to get people engaged in this infinity loop. And when you find that you're in a loop where people may say, I want a divorce, but they can never divorce. Or, you know, it's kind of like one client I was talking to, it's like, you know, somebody's got the remote control and they're sleeping. And she was saying she wanted to watch TV. And, you know, took the remote control. They're sleeping. I'm watching something. And, you know, sit and made kind of her watch it until it was completed. And so that control, kind of that engagement, that control of being in something, you know, being in this movie. Why are you in this movie? First we ask, well, you know, you're learning how to be here in a body. And, you know, you're learning how to be overtaken. You're learning how to play roles of where maybe you are coing someone who is a narcissist. You're learning how to play out survival. And when we play out survival, you know, we find that our life doesn't work. And so how do we make our lives work? What do we do to make our lives work? Well, the first thing that we do is like the TV. Pull your attention out of the TV. Pull it back from the movie of the reality you think is real. Pull it back. Move it within. When you move it within, Now this is really the TV that we want to watch, because within us is spirit. And say hello to your spirit. Say hello to the gold. When you say hello to spirit within you, now you start to focus on, okay, what is my spirit here to do? We want to know what your spirit came here to do. And in asking that question to your spirit, without even knowing, without figuring, I don't ever figure out, I don't think. Maybe I should think more. But in doing that, I go outside of my garden. And so being right here, okay, I want to see what my spirit came here to do. And everyone's spirit, all of your spirits came here to do something, to be spirit, to bring in the gold, to bring that light in, to be that living light. And now more than ever, we need you to see truth. And how do you see truth? It is the living light within you. And so how you find that, bring your attention within. But attention will go without, which is okay. We're not about being perfect. We let it go. So you have the diamond right here, and it reflects your attention back. So it creates this circuit, this connection, this circuit, this movement. The heart always creates in a circle. But we are of the mind. We are in this world of duality. So, hi. So let it go there. And then I can't tell you, it's changed my TV watching in a sense. Noticing what pictures light up, noticing how much I'm in the TV, and what pictures light up, what do I resist, what I don't like, what I have a judgment about. All of these things are so great, because when you see that, burn the picture, blow up the picture, ground the picture, connect the picture. Just do something simple. Burn it, burn it, burn it. So what you're doing is you're clearing. You are getting cleared of these pictures, of these different realities. And in a way, TV is so programming. It programs us. It programs us to think a certain way. It programs us to be a certain way. And so what you want to do is you want to know your truth. And the way to find your truth is the inner TV, being within, watching that TV. And by watching that, that's the only true thing there is. That's truth, seeing truth. And this is where, it's like sometimes I see things on TV and I'm thinking, do people really believe this? And so, but there's so much said out there that it's just hard to know for people. But you always have the answers, but the answers are within. And so right out in front of you, imagine a gold diamond. And that gold diamond represents your spirit, that you are focused on your spirit. You are focused on, what is your spirit here to do? I talk to my spirit, what do you want to do, spirit? And I ask my spirit, it's kind of like, help me here to not absorb. How much energy do you absorb? We start bringing in the light. And what happens when we bring in this light is that we get around people and all the darkness comes out of them. And so just have that diamond kind of pull in their darkness, because it's going to go somewhere. It's going to go on you, or it's going to go there. And then just burn the pictures within. Just let them go. And now we're watching TV. So if we can look at our lives and look at every situation, especially the situations where you may not have much neutrality with, maybe it's family, maybe it's relationship, and if you can just watch TV and just kind of be amused. And then you can start to choose really what it is that you want to be looking at. Turn the channel. Watch spirit in the body. So just to recap, today we were talking about, and we're going into the full moon on Monday, And so we were talking about bust out, be free, break the chains of reality. Like my little slogan. And so we are all busting out. And I don't know if you've seen my full moon kind of picture, busting out, be free, break the chains of reality. All right. And we are breaking our chains of reality, and you may be seeing that happen, seeing people wanting to bust out of what is going on, all this unconscious energy. And I want you to be free, and how you can be free is spirit. Focusing on your spirit. Your spirit sets you free. Break the chains of this reality so we can be in a new reality. And just being in spirit, we are in a new reality. I am seeing all of you be free. Break the chains of reality. So I also want to say that on Saturday, I am going to be doing it's called Positive Life Club, and I lost my connection on Facebook. Okay, and Positive Life Club, so I will put it in the link below, or I'll put it in my Instagram post, and I'll put it on my website, and I'll be sending out an email. It's on Saturday for the next 4 weeks. So join me there, because we are going to be busting out, breaking free. I'm going to just do my little dance, my busting out dance. Bust out, be free, break the chains of reality, bust out, be free, break the chains of reality. All right. Love you guys. And is there any questions too? I'm just going to put my glasses on and see any comments. Hey, Dwight. My video didn't work. Hey, Kate. Hey, Danielle. All right. Thanks. Bye.